Well, hello and welcome to this week's episode, which is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. In honor of May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I decided that I would do a roundup of my most popular videos and blogs, or vlogs as we call them, that have to do with your mental health. And a lot of times, our mental health is negatively impacted by the relationships we're in, by not understanding the lack of mental health that other people in our lives have. So let's start with I'm giving you 5 suggestions of things that you can watch that will give you insight into how to be more mentally healthy. So I started with the TEDx talk that I did a few years ago called What If Fear Were Just a Feeling? So why am I starting with that? Because I think it's great and I hope that you like it. But the second part of it is that fear is a driving force in so many of your lives. And I'm not talking about kill or be killed, mortal danger fear necessarily. I'm really talking about the more pedestrian, pervasive, everyday fear that drives your decisions big and small. So I hope that you like my TED Talk. That's the first one I'm suggesting. The second is really my most popular YouTube video, which is called How Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers Can Survive and Thrive. And those of you, if you have a mother who is not just selfish and self-centered, right? These are like the obvious things about if you're like, oh, that's what I hear about narcissists. This is way, way deeper than that. And if you have a narcissistic mother, you probably know what I'm talking about, that on the outside and to the rest of the world, she may seem great. Your friends are like, your mother's so cool. But you know what it's like and how mean, cutting, how jealous, how really mean, because the real key with narcissists, rather than just having a mean mother, because many people have had mean mothers, is that there's no capacity for empathy. And it's so incredibly painful being the daughter of a narcissist. So if you haven't seen that one and you think this might be you, or you might know someone who has a narcissistic mom, fear not. You can survive it and thrive afterwards. And it does require healing. That's real. So the next one that I chose, hold on, I have to look, is why codependence and narcissists can't break up. The relationship, the romantic relationship and the dance that goes on between narcissists and codependents. And you think about it, it's kind of a perfect match, right? The narcissist comes in and usually is love bombing, right? Everything is amazing, making you feel so incredibly special. Nobody is like you. Nobody understands them like you. They may whisk you off to Paris for the weekend. But once they have you, once the love bombing is done, once they feel secure, then the criticism starts. Then the picking away at you starts. And so much of it with narcissists and codependents is that the codependent is like usually an empath, someone who feels very deeply. And so they want to give the narcissist what they want. But it ends up in a dead-end situation where the empath, the codependent, is just completely exhausted. So anyway, that's a second one that I think that you would, the third one that I think that you would really gain something from. The next one is what is gaslighting? Let's talk about that. What is gaslighting? Where this is a psychological experience or action that someone takes, and it usually happens in abusive relationships, and it may not be overt abuse. It may be more covert abuse, where it's psychological and emotional abuse, where someone is wanting to deny your reality and keep you sort of off balance so that they can secure their control over you. The term gaslighting was originated, there was a movie that made it very popular, this term, and I'm not sure if that's where it originated or if that's just the name of the movie, but anyway, where in the movie the story was that the husband was gaslighting the wife. And why it's called gaslighting, it was originated there, is because it was set in a time when the lights were all done with fire, basically. And so she kept saying, did you turn down the lights? Did you turn down the lights? And he was like, nope. So she kept seeing the lights were changing and thinking she was going crazy. So that's like a sort of an extreme example. And that movie, that original movie, was redone not that long ago, a couple of years ago. And I think it was called The Woman on the Train or something like that. And again, it was a woman being gaslit to think that she was crazy by her husband, and he ultimately convinces her that she kills someone, which she didn't. Anyway, this will resonate with you if you feel like you know someone who does this, who's constantly denying your reality or saying, "What are you talking about? Are you crazy? That never happened." Really denying things that you know are true. And here's the thing with gaslighters. Sometimes the person doesn't even know they're doing it. Like it's not always like some masterminded plan. And most of the time it's not a masterminded plan. It's like a sickness on the abuser's part, No excuse for it, just saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone planning or really like can't wait to do this to you. It's what they're doing so that they can keep control over you. It's so scary. But anyway, I hope that you like that one. There's a lot of resources in all of these too. Those movies that I just mentioned are in there, so you'll be able to see it. And the last one is how to set boundaries with impossible people, even narcissists. Seems like I talk a lot about narcissists, but the thing with narcissists, if you have them in your life, is that they can be very crazy making until you start to learn and actually get educated about the different types of mental illness that is out there and that you may be dealing with. It's so easy to just say, it's me. It's got to be me. I mean, it's so much easier to take it on ourselves. And especially if you came from an abusive background or a chaotic childhood where it couldn't be you, right? The way that you felt and what you thought. If you came from a childhood like that, it was always about someone else, which of course also makes you very vulnerable to fall in with narcissists because they want it to be all about them. So it's kind of this, sadly, it's a perfect fit. So I hope that you enjoy those videos that I shared with you. And I really want to inspire you to get dialed into your mental health. May is coming to a close soon, but let's keep this going. It shouldn't be 1 month of the year that is focused on your mental health. I believe as a therapist that your mental health is just as important as your physical health, right? Because without your mental health, your physical health doesn't really do that much for you in your life. Because if you are in unhealthy, toxic, abusive relationships, unsatisfying relationships, right? Maybe they're just distant and unsatisfying. It doesn't have to be abusive, but I mean dysfunctional. That really negatively impacts your entire life experience. So this is really important. And you know what, you guys? You are worth it. And if not you, who? And if not now, when? So I hope that you liked this roundup of, I think, my best mental health videos. And I hope you have an amazing, amazing, beautiful week filled with lots of self-care. And as always, take care of you.